Hi, I've been asked to do another video with plastering. Now, we have done here ceiling and this wall here and another ceiling there, other side of the wall, but all of this, building of stud wall and changing electrics and floor repair and some other bits and bobs, it's been done in 2.5 days, so it was pretty manic here. I didn't really have the time, but we got this window bay ceiling to replaster. Now entire room was covered in wallpaper. We took the wallpaper off. Chimney will stay like that. They've been like a lightweight concrete blocks that they build in, so they can nail moldings onto the wall easier. So we have rendered that because they looked awful. The walls are decoratable. They're not that bad. They look much worse than what they are. They're actually pretty smooth. We'll need one coat of paint, like a mist coat, and then maybe just a bit of rub down, bit of filler, and they will be good. So once we start taking the wallpaper, this ceiling in a bay window is a plasterboard. It's been wallpapered and it's been nailed on, so it was quite poorly fixed. Had some movement on it, so we sprayed some foam in the corners and put some extra screws, found the buttons, put the screws on. That's now solid. This edge here was bonded and it never had any bead on, never been plastered, so it was just wallpapered straight on. So whoever done it on a purpose that it's going to be wallpapered. But now it's not going to be wallpapered anymore, so what we did, we stripped the wallpaper, cleaned it all up, some surface paper wet came off the plasterboard as well, PVA'd a lot, including the top section there, and on the wall, like on angle, like that, where we're going to blend it with the rest of the wall. We have to put a bit of tape here on the joint. On the crack, sorry. And yeah, so if you're plastering anything that is not new plasterboard, you have to PVA or apply PVA solution to the surface and let it dry off. You can see it's got that shine to it now. That's because of PVA, and this has been PVA'd nice and tight, so it's not going to suck the moisture like crazy. And process of applying multi-finish plaster, it's exactly same as when you apply on the board. So you're gonna put first coat on, leave it to go off just like a touch dry, and then you're gonna put second coat and then wet troweling, dry troweling, and that's it. Now, being a small area, I want a slightly thicker consistency, more of like a cream cheese. It's just because it's a small area and I just want to complete it a bit quicker. So that's why I done it a bit drier than usually. So same process, I'm gonna wet the tools and start applying. whilst first coat skewering, I washed the tools. Gonna get some other tools out, ready for other jobs. Need to fit arching around the door frame, some skirtings, shelving, and so on. So this will take, it's hard to say, but it's gonna take probably about half an hour, 40 minutes at least, to cure enough for the second coat. It's a bit cold today, but I hope that ceiling is warm enough because heating was on all night. So we'll see, we'll see. After about half an hour, our first coat has solidified a bit, so I'm just going to flatten it a little bit, just to get rid of large ridges from first spread. It's just going to help. Same there. Nothing large, just a little tidy up. Right, we're ready for second coat. Now for second coat, same as before, we have to do it, make it a bit runnier, because it will go thinner than the first coat. First coat is the base coat that gives the body mass, strength. The second coat is the finishing coat, that's what gives smoothness. So I'm gonna mix it up now, a bit thin. This is second coat, you can see how smooth it is, much runnier. It flows much better. Because it's very small area, we don't need a lot of plaster, but you can see that consistency. It's very sloppy. So let's put that on. Now you can see how much is left. Only used half of what we mixed, but anything really less than that, it's very hard to mix, so it's not a waste. See, that's a half bag left, so this bay ceiling is done with half bag. And that's now second coat. just gonna leave that to cure a little bit to become touch hardish with a bit of slippery surface, and then we're gonna do some more traveling on. Now a little tip, I cleaned up the tools and the buckets. Now this is what is left over from the last mix, from second mix. Leave it unspoiled in a bag or on the side somewhere. You might need that to do any touch-ups or repairs during finishing stage. So it's always handy to keep whatever is left over from the second mix handy and unspoiled, clean, just in case, because you know it might happen that your trowel digs in with a corner and you get a chunk out or something, and that will be the perfect patch-up stuff. Now another 40 or so minutes has passed. You can see there's still a bit of sliminess to the surface, but actually plastic is hard. My finger can remove the surface itself, but it does not dig in. So that's now perfect time to do following step. So first I'm just gonna run again with my trowel and just get rid of the big notches. Just on dry like that. If there are any, and then I'm going to apply some water and do wet troweling. Just going to clean up, there's a bit on that edge, just going to clean that up. That's it, like that. Now let's get some soft brush, wet it up and wet the whole thing. This is our wet brush, so I'm just going to run it around the edges. Just like that. Also whilst I'm here, I'm going to do this edge. I'm sorry if my phone is not zooming in properly. Probably moving it too quick for its likings. Right, and now let's move that surface, because by wetting it up you're just making that surface that is still pliable, we're allowing it to glide over the entire surface of the ceiling. You can see that. So we go from that texture to nice and smooth in instant. We're still going to have an odd faint line here and there, like that one there. Or right, let's try to zoom that in, or like that one there, but that's not a problem, because after this, well, you can see, right, sorry, after this troweling we're going to do more of it, so we're going to get rid of them fine lines. Now you can see on this wall here, after brushing, how the surface has got distorted and got brush marks. But now one pass with a trowel and that just becomes smooth, because what we're doing is making that very top surface of plaster pliable, and just moves about, and fills in all imperfections. And we're not removing much of the surface material, just a little bit on the edge of the trowel, what comes off. most of it is still there. Don't dig in, just play about with it. So let's wet the other side of the bay. Like that. And like that. Right, it's a bit better. Zoomed out. Now, if you de-wire, and this is one of your first attempts, and you manage to get to this stage with this smoothness, I would say, even if you leave it at that point, you'll still be able to decorate it nicely. All you have to do is just put a bit of sandpaper to some edges, if necessary. But we'll go through all the stages, and if you follow all that through, you will not need to put any filler or any sandpaper to it. See, I just put some stuff from some goo from the trowel on there. Now I'm going to run it off that feather edge against the wall that we're not gonna plaster, just to smooth it up, just to feather it. That joint there, it's the only edge that will need a bit of attention during decorating, as sanding down a little bit, or even maybe a little bit of filler just on that edge there. But that is gone fairly thin now. So we're going to leave it now for another maybe 10 minutes. And we're going to try to get rid of these small marks. After about 10-15 minutes, just going to repeat the process just once, quickly. Hear the sound when trowel gets off that metal angle bead. And now we don't have any lines left in the ceiling. It's all ready now for polishing up in about half an hour. Now another half an hour has passed. It feels dry on touch now, but I can feel it's still damp. It's still got that edge to it, so I'm just gonna now dry trowel it, which I never understood term dry troweling, because you have to use a wet trowel, but you don't put any water on the plaster, so plaster stays dry. All you have to do is just make sure that your trowel is properly wet, soaked, and then just firm strokes across plaster surface. And as you can see, you're not taking any materials off. You literally just smoothing up any fine imperfections. So where we brushed off across there, the edges of our feathering points, when you do this, you can see they're smoothed up. Just keep the edge clean and wet. One pass and that's enough. You don't want it too shiny. If you keep doing this, you can make it too shiny, and then whoever is gonna paint it is gonna hate you, because paint doesn't stick well to shiny surfaces. There you go. One ceiling, the bay window, nice and flat, smooth, ready to dry out and to be decorated. All the best.